Secretary Clyde Hufbauer. He is a Reginald Jones Senior Fellow with the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Dr. Hufbauer has written extensively on international trade, investment, and tax issues. The Peterson Institute is a research institution devoted to the study of international economic policy. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Chairman Vasquez and Ranking Member Graves. As you well know, President Obama has committed his administration to the goal of doubling U.S. exports in 5 years, and towards that end, among other things, he's promised an additional $2 billion of lending authority to the Ex-Im Bank, and the Commerce Department has embarked on an outreach program. These are useful steps, but they are small steps. My remarks today concentrate on the very special problems facing small business exporters. As you know, the fixed costs for a firm to engage seriously in exporting goods and services are formidable, and the very high fixed costs go a long way to explain why an exceptionally high share of U.S. merchandise exports are shipped by large firms. Professor Brad Jensen of Georgetown University has assembled statistics on this aspect, and in the year 2000, the top 1% of U.S. exporting firms, which was about 1,600 firms, less than 1/10 of 1% of all U.S. firms, accounted for 80% of U.S. merchandise exports, and there is absolutely no reason to think this picture has changed much in the last decade. Small business firms are conspicuously underrepresented in the U.S. export picture, largely because of the fixed cost obstacles I have mentioned, and bearing these obstacles in mind, let me offer 3 suggestions that are targeted at small business. My first suggestion is that the Congress should require the administration to provide a quantitative annual report of past performance and future expectations of small business exports. Among its features, this report should specifically identify the expected contribution of each of the administration's promotion measures. My second suggestion is to boost very substantially the availability of export finance to small business firms. This cannot be done through the Export-Import Bank, both because the Export-Import Bank financing is limited by an array of congressional mandates, which are quite complicated, and because the Ex-Im lending process itself is very complex. A better approach is to create significant tax incentives for private banks to support the export financing needs of small business firms, both on a pre-shipment basis and once goods and services are sold. And towards that end, I suggest, and I go into it in my testimony, that private banks be allowed to establish very large loan loss reserves for new export-related loans extended to small business firms. My third suggestion is to bolster the information and technical assistance programs offered to small business exporters by the Small Business Administration and the Department of Commerce. I concur with what was said about the Agricultural Department as well. In 2008, I was a guest of the Hong Kong government and saw quite a few things there, but a particular note was an agency devoted to library resources for small business firms from Hong Kong, which are big exporters from that small city-state, and it was backed up by technical experts. It is very impressive, and I do not know that the U.S. government matches that level of expertise, and evaluation would be useful. The SBA and the Commerce Department are staffed by knowledgeable people, but I would suggest an external evaluation by a firm like McKinsey or Monitor. There are many others as to improvements which might be done. And I would finally comment that small business exports cannot be doubled on the back of a public relations campaign. Thank you.